What's up, guys? So been out here for a few minutes. I'm trying to take these wheels off. I got two that are being kind of stubborn. Let my impact cool off. See, a little warm. That's only a 1/2 inch drive. It's taking them off pretty good. So I'm gonna try and get this brake chamber off, or at least uncage them, see what happens. I'll go up to the truck parts store and get some new ones for it. So I'm gonna take these off, put these on, as long as I can get these 4 off. I only have 4 of them mounted so far. I went to Harbor Freight, got this set of sockets. I just needed this 1.5 inch socket. These are 3/4 inch drives. That's all they had. I need to get a 3/4 gun for this. And it came with the square 13/16 for the inner nuts. So I have, let me see, this socket. It's like a combination thing. I don't know if you can see it in there. The 13/16 square is up inside there, and then the 1.5 inch, but this one wasn't deep enough to reach the 1.5 inch nut, because it's got, this one has the long inner nuts. There's 2 different sockets. So I think what I got will work just fine. So this tire's flat. So I'm gonna get this outer wheel off, get it jacked up, and get to work on these brake chambers. Got the outside wheel off. This is not good. Not good at all. Because this wheel, this inside wheel is loose. None of these nuts will turn off. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know how many more of them are like that. So I gotta get a fresh battery for the impact. Probably get a 3/4 ratchet and a breaker bar, see what's going on there. Yeah, they're just not tight. Somebody just put these things on there. I know they're stuck because none of them turned. If they were loose, they would have turned off with the other nuts as hard as they came off. So I guess it's going to put up a fight. Great. Alright, so I've uncaged the brake chambers. Took this bolt out. This is a cage bolt. It goes in here. There's a notch it goes in. When you turn it, tighten this nut up. There's a big giant spring inside there. That's what puts the brakes on when you lose air pressure. So when you get down below 60, 50 psi, it automatically releases applies the spring brakes and stops the truck. Emergency brakes. So these are not releasing, and I've narrowed it down to something back here. So I started the truck up, aired it up, pushed the knob in, or in this case pulled it out. That supplies air to this janky looking hose right here. This is a quick release valve, so it supplies air to these 2 hoses that go down to the spring brake side of the brake chambers. So the air goes in here, goes out. When you release the pressure off of this, it shoots air out the bottom, releasing the air, applying the brakes. So I'm getting air to here, but I'm not getting air to the brake chambers. Even if the chambers were bad, There's a hole in there that the air comes out of. I imagine the air would have come out here if the diaphragm was bad. So, new quick release valve. So, looks like this will bolt right in place of that one. And maybe they'll work. So the idea is, you put air pressure in here, the air goes out here to the brake chambers. When you release the pressure off of this, it exhausts out this here. There's a diaphragm in there. This is what lets the air pressure off. That's what that big whoosh is when you hear these things park. So yeah, I'm gonna get that changed. Probably gonna have to go to the parts store, get some parts, and yeah, then we'll see what happens. All right, so new valves in right there. So now I gotta air it up and see what happens. I don't know. I kind of want to take this apart and see if there's something actually wrong with it, or if I just wasted a bunch of time. If I had to guess, there's probably rust or something in it. Yeah, you can take these apart. I'm sure a lot of you guys watch JC Smith on YouTube. He's got a really good video about how this stuff works. He takes one of these things apart, and yeah, he had one that was leaking. He took it apart, got the piece of crap out of it, and fixed it. So I don't know if that piece of rust fell out of that thing or not. Weird. So yeah, I'm sure a lot of you guys probably watch him. Go check him out. He's got a really good video on this. I'm sure if I try to explain it more than I already did, I'll butcher it and get something wrong. It's one of the things that I know how it works, but it's hard to get it out. So anyway, I'm gonna air this thing up. I'm gonna take note of where the slack adjusters currently are. They're all whacked out. And yeah, we'll see if it works. Cross your fingers. Alright guys, so I got these two valves out. I'm pretty sure there's something wrong with one of them. I don't know, but I'll show you what I got. So here's the two valves. This is the one at the bottom. This is the one for the top. It says pull to release. I deal with a place called Fleet Pride. They sell truck parts. There's a guy up there that is really, really good with this stuff, especially this old stuff. So I went to give him this stuff, and he goes, wow, that's really old. And I was like, yeah. So he found part numbers on it. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, he goes, yeah, it's a Williams valve. Well, Williams says on there. I said, yeah. So he looked around, he goes, that's not available. I can't get them. Great. So he says, I'll be right back. So he comes back and he brings this. He goes, it's just a regular brake valve. He said, you're going to have to figure out how to replumb it, but it'll work. So, I really wanted to keep it the way that it was, but I'm kind of thinking for serviceability, it's probably better off to switch that valve with something a little more modern that's easier to get if something happens. So it'll be fine. I'm going to take this valve off, put it back in this hole, put the knob back on it. It'll just be there to fill the hole. It'll make it look like it should be there. The top hole, I'll have to drill this one out and put the new valve in. I don't know what I'm going to do with that, but anyway, it'll be there. So yeah, I just need to figure out in this rat nest what hoses go where, and then we'll see. I also got two brand new brake chambers, they're in the back of my pickup. So new brake chambers, new brake valve. Hopefully this will be the end of the brakes for a while, if I can just get the parking brake working. Alright, so I got the valve plumbed in the dash. Figured that out. It wasn't that bad. Big surprise, these brake chambers are no good. Excuse me, I'm out of breath. Being out of shape and crawling up and down underneath these trucks is not great. I aired the truck up, pushed the valve in, losing air like crazy. I shut the truck off, I come back here and there's air just blowing. I couldn't hear it when the truck was running. So anyway, these are bad. I wanted to change them anyway. So here's a pair of new ones. They weren't horribly expensive. So what you have to do is, this rod is obviously way longer than that one. So you just measure it. You have to take the cage bolt out. That's loose. That lets this rod come all the way out. And then you measure it from the face of that to the end. So we got about 5 1/4. I'll cut this one off to 5 1/4. New clevis, screw it on, fittings, and bolt it on. Pretty simple. And then need to jack it up, adjust the brakes, and we'll be good to go. This is the problem that I have with the wheels that I totally forgot about. So this truck had aluminum wheels on it originally, which means that these inner nuts are different. See this end here on this shoulder right here is the difference. That needs to not be there. Then I can put the steel wheels on. So I'll need to find some nuts. Shouldn't be a huge deal. But we're gonna get the brakes fixed, get that valve mounted, and then we should have parking brakes then. So I got the brake chambers on. New brake chambers. Aired it up and everything seems to be working the way that it should. So I've got parking brake now, emergency brake, whatever you want to call it, and the service brakes still work good. So now the nuts, the wheel nut problem. I had this wheel off. So instead of buying all new lug nuts, I took the old ones off. Took them home and set up my little lathe, and I just turned the shoulder off of them. So now these should screw on here like the regular nut. There was one nut, this one here, that was the regular. You can see how short it is. So that's one problem solved. I just need to do it 60 more times. So I need to take all these nuts off, turn that shoulder off of them, and then we can put the wheels on it. I decided to go ahead and do that because those nuts are like $3 or $4 a piece, and that was going to be kind of expensive just to put wheels on. So I'm going to do that, get the wheels on. I'll get this pair off, get those nuts off, and take them home and start whittling on those. And yeah, that's it. So the brakes are working. Can't really drive it or do anything until I get the wheels done and the airbags, because I have one of the airbags out. So yeah, and I have an idea on getting dual stacks on it, which is something I want to do. So I'm gonna have to relocate some things, take that off, and find some stacks, but that's later on. So we'll see. So yeah, thanks for watching, and next video hopefully we'll be doing airbags. I don't know. Probably doing some electrical stuff because I still need to get some lights working on this thing. So, yep. Thanks for watching. Don't forget, like, subscribe, share, tell your friends, everybody. Need all the help I can get. So, catch you on the next one. Later.